Okay, this is gonna be a slightly different video, but I wanted to do this for a while. So today we're on tiermaker.com and we're gonna be doing a tier list of some airplanes here. With labels too, if I somehow don't recognize any of these. So let's get started. So the Honda Jet. I don't know much about the Honda Jet. I know it's a pretty small plane, kind of like the Cirrus Vision SF50. I'll put it in, I like the Cirrus though, so we're gonna put this in B tier. Let's go get these smaller planes out of the way first. DA40. No idea what plane that is, but I guess I'll just put it down in like C tier. It does look pretty good. Piper Chorokeo. I like this plane a lot. It's going right next to the DA60. Now, of course, C tier isn't actually that good, but you know that's kind of where most small planes will go. C-152. Actually, no, let's do SR-22 first, because the SR-22, favorite propeller plane of all time, that one is going in A tier. Unlike favorite single propeller plane. C-182, that one goes right next to the Honda Jet, as well as the C-172 and C-152. Let's be honest, they all look the exact same. Caravan I actually like a little bit more, but I mean I mean up here we got, you know what, let me add that here. I made it purple, it looks a little bit odd. I added an extra tier because some of these planes are going to be real hard to put into certain places, so this is going to be B+. So basically it's B but slightly better. And that's where I'll put the Honda Jet, and then I'll put those like that. Okay. Baron. I like the Baron a lot, that one goes right next to the Honda Jet. The C206, however, another Cessna, let's put that one right there next to the other Cessnas. This might be controversial, but I think all Cessnas pretty much look the same. Or they have some similarities, but of course stuff like the Caravan look very different. Piper Archer, right? And I'll put the Piper Archer, I'll put it up there and then I'll move the Caravan one step up. Then we got the Bonanza. The Bonanza looks very similar to these Cessnas, so let's put that over there. Legoad all around. Christmas is coming up. Merry early Christmas to all of you. Here's a TBM. I like the TBM a lot. I'll put it up there as B+. Then we got the, I think those are all the small planes. I mean, here's a Cessna Citation CJ4. I'll put that one right next to the SR-22. They're at A tier. So let's move over to the airliners here. So first we got the 737 MAX. This thing is not a good plane, we know that. I'll put that in D tier though, because it's not the worst plane of all time. MD-80. Controversial one, I know, but I hate the look of the MD-80. I don't like how it's really long, low and slim, and I just don't really like it. That one goes in. Not to mention it's not an efficient plane in any way either. Okay, now for some of these. Seems like this list is very picky, like an A330, and then there's also A330 Neo. I'll put both of those on S tier. A310, S tier. No question about it. A310 goes in S tier. Same with the A300, like, they look very similar, but I just love the look of them. Then we got the A380, baby bus coming in here, gotta put that one on S tier. Gonna be honest, I'm putting a lot of these on S tier. 747 though goes on B+, dash 400. 747-8, I will be putting that one at the same tier. The 777. I love the 777, that one goes in A tier. A350, wasn't it like the A350 that burnt earlier? Wasn't it like that one incident when the A350 caught fire in January? But I like the A350 a lot, at least looks wise, but I will put it right next to the 777 there at A tier. Now, I'm reasonably new to the airplane community. I only got interested in airplanes in like August last year, so I'm pretty new to this community. Then the MD-11, that one goes in B tier. B+. 787-8. The 787 is very similar to the A350 in multiple ways, so I'll put those in the same tier right next to each other. And there's a 787-9, I'll put that one right next to that one too. And then also 787-10. All these 787s go next to each other. 737NG, I don't know, I'll put it in B tier. I'm not a huge fan of the 737, but it's a decent plane. 757. This is actually one of my favorite planes. I'll put that one up on S tier. It's definitely crashed once in a while. But I like it. I like it. It looks good and like a more narrow body, mid-size plane. Up at A320, just above the 737 NG at B+. They will also put the A321 up in B+. A319 gotta go there in A. 767, back in the day I couldn't tell the difference between a 57 and 67. They look very much different. I like the 67 a little bit less, I'll put that one at A tier. Then here we got the 777X. I put that 777 up there, so I'll put the X right next to it on A tier. A220, very modern plane, very like a technological one, S tier. Here's the ERJ 175, the Embraer 175. I'll put that one right there in B tier. And then finally, of course, A340. It looks very similar to the A330, but because of its lack of power and kind of the opposite of the 757 known as the overpowered plane or the flying pencil or whatever you call it. I like the A330. It's probably one of my favorite airliners. And since this one looks very similar but it's slightly underpowered, I'll put it down here, joining the fellas at A tier. I would say this is a pretty good list. You can tell me in the comments if you would change anything about it. Or like, and feel free to complain as much as possible, I do not mind comments. But yeah, tell me if you want to see more of these tier lists. Once again, this was a slightly different video. I think it's the first time you hear my voice, right? Wish I could have a face cam, but I don't really own one of those, so I don't know how I would have a face cam without owning a face cam. But see you next video. Have a good day.